There are stories in football that begin quietly, hidden between the lines of foreign newspapers and in discreet backstage conversations, but eventually gain enough momentum to touch the hearts of millions of fans. Newcastle United, experiencing a period of highs and lows, may be facing one of these stories. What initially seemed like just another transfer market speculation has taken on greater contours in recent hours, and the signs point to something that could completely transform the club's season. And before we continue, a quick note for those following along. If you're passionate about Newcastle, this is the right place to stay up to date with everything happening at the club. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Every new subscription strengthens our community and ensures you won't miss any breaking news that could change the Magpies' fortunes. Now, let's carry on because the information coming in is simply intriguing. Behind the scenes, a sudden development has caught attention. Reports from the Spanish and Italian press began circulating almost simultaneously, suggesting that Newcastle could soon step in to shake up the market. These reports speak of a possible offer, and more importantly, indicate that a major international star is willing to hear what the English club has to say. For those closely following Eddie Howe's movements in the board, this possibility appears bold and unexpected. Fans are already accustomed to seeing Newcastle target big names, but opportunities of this magnitude rarely arise. The current season began with ups and downs, and the search for offensive solutions is urgent. The team needs attacking alternatives, players who bring not only quality but also immediate impact. Insider information suggests that the board sees a unique opportunity, and anticipation is growing by the hour. The mystery surrounding the player's identity is mobilizing both fans and journalists. And here comes the big revelation. According to outlets such as Tutto Juve Noticies and the Spanish site Fichajes, Newcastle has reportedly moved forward with a proposal for Endrick, the young Brazilian star signed by Real Madrid in a €70 million deal with Palmeiras in 2022. The news, gaining traction between the 23rd and the 24th of September, indicates that the player is open to a transfer on loan as early as January. At the same time, reports also reveal that Xabi Alonso and Florentino Perez are carefully considering this possibility. What gives this information even more weight is that it is not just an isolated rumor. Several European media outlets have begun discussing the chance of Endrick joining Newcastle. The most surprising detail is that, according to Notices, an official offer has already been submitted. This does not mean that the deal is finalized, but it shows that the interest is concrete. Of course, rumors must always be treated cautiously, but when so many international sources point in the same direction, fans start to dream. Endrick, now 19, is seen as one of the most promising talents in world football. With 37 appearances for Real Madrid last season, 7 goals, and 1 assist, he has already shown glimpses of his potential. However, at the Spanish club, competition is intense. With Kylian Mbappé established as the team's main forward and other young players on the rise, the Brazilian's playing time is likely to be limited at the moment. It is precisely this lack of minutes that could open a window for Newcastle to step in. And if you've been following along, take a moment to support the channel. Your subscription makes all the difference and helps keep this space alive, delivering exclusive updates on Newcastle that you won't find anywhere else. Subscribe now and stay informed, because there is still much more to reveal about this story that could affect the club's future. According to Football Espegar, Endrick has already turned down invitations to participate in youth tournaments with the Brazilian national team in order to focus on his adaptation to Real Madrid. This shows that he has no intention of giving up on his dream of establishing himself at the Santiago Bernabéu. Nevertheless, the idea of a loan has not been ruled out by the Spanish management. Florentino Perez and Xabi Alonso view the possibility of the player gaining high-level minutes at another European club positively, without compromising his medium-term development. Newcastle emerges as a natural candidate in this scenario, particularly given the club's recent investment history and ambition to compete among the giants. Under Eddie Howe, the club has already proven capable of revitalizing players and giving young talents a leading role. Additionally, the Premier League provides global exposure, which can be beneficial both for the player and for Real Madrid. On the other hand, there is risk. The pressure in England is immense, and not every young player can handle it immediately. But here comes a reflection. To what extent would Real Madrid be willing to release a €70 million player so soon? The amount invested by the Spanish club was one of the highest ever paid for a South American prospect. Endrick was seen as a rare gem, and any departure, even on loan, must be carefully calculated. Hence, reports also mention the caution of coach Xabi Alonso, who does not want to lose control over the Brazilian's development. Meanwhile, the English press remains silent. So far, no major British newspaper has confirmed that Newcastle has made an official offer. This lack of local coverage shows that the strongest rumors are still coming from Spain and Italy. However, this is exactly the type of news that starts small and can gain massive proportions if new details emerge. And fans know, in football where there's smoke there's often fire. Another important detail is that Endrick has just returned from a muscle injury. This recovery period could directly influence Real Madrid's decisions, as the club may prefer to keep him close to monitor his physical development. At the same time, this could also justify allowing the player to gain minutes and match rhythm in a competitive environment, such as the Premier League with Newcastle. It's worth remembering that this is not the first club interested in Endrick. During the European summer of 2025, teams like Juventus, Valencia, Real Sociedad, and even Getafe were mentioned as potential destinations. However, according to the newspaper Sport, the player rejected all approaches, reinforcing his desire to continue fighting for a place at Real Madrid. This stance shows determination but also leaves room for speculation that a temporary move could be considered in January. And once again, a quick invitation: if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Here you get first-hand coverage of rumors, behind-the-scenes developments, and confirmations affecting Newcastle. Subscribe now and continue being part of this community, which grows stronger every day. The current scenario, therefore, is one of uncertainty, but also expectation. Newcastle, which has already made significant investments this season, may be facing a rare opportunity to bring in a talent still developing, but one who already carries the weight of a €1 million transfer and the confidence of a giant like Real Madrid. For the Magpies, it would be a masterstroke, a bold move that would put the club even more on the international radar. It remains to be seen how Xabi Alonso will position himself in this situation. According to NEWCASTLE, the Spanish coach considers the loan positive, but on the condition that he does not lose control over the player. This indicates that, should a departure occur in January, Real Madrid intends to impose specific clauses to ensure Endrick's return and safeguard his development within the club's sporting plan. For Newcastle fans, meanwhile, it is a mix of anxiety and hope. Seeing a player of this caliber wearing the black and white shirt would be a clear sign that the project initiated by the new owners is reaching ever higher levels. What once seemed impossible is now starting to be seen as viable. And if there is one thing football teaches, it is that the greatest moments often happen when least expected.